Yo, it's Worm. Today I'm going to show you a Fortnite Lego guide to the Storm King on how to defeat him and what you need to carry and what weapons to use. So this guy's going to be broken down into weapons, charms, hiring an NPC, and finally the Eye of the Storm. And finally, how to defeat the Storm King. Weapons. To defeat the Storm King, you're going to need a sword, a crossbow, and plenty of arrows. To get started, we're going to make the strongest sword available. So we're going to make a sapphire sword. So you're going to need 6 cut sapphire and 2 gold. This will allow us to carry 4 rune slots. So once you create it, you now need to go over to the rune forge, and you're now going to upgrade the weapon by adding runes to the slots. To get the runes, you need to basically pick up a certain book in the dungeon. Once you equip the Storm Rune Tomb, it basically make you read it like you did in the Lost Isles, and it will give you a special recipe which is going to appear on the left hand side, which will basically fill up your codex with all these recipes. You can then add them to your rune forge and equip them on certain weapons. So the main ones we're going to use is life steal. Defeating an enemy will heal you a lot. So basically when we kill the little bots, they're going to give us some health. The next one we're going to need is destruction free. This basically helps us damage things really quickly. So when the storm crystals appear, we can break them in a couple of hits. The third tomb is going to be damage free. Increases the damage of the weapon to the max you can get for that level. So I think it's going to go up to like 12. And finally, durability free. This will basically increase the durability of the sword. So altogether you're going to need life steal, destruction, damage and durability. The next one we're going to make is the sapphire crossbow. So we're going to be using the same materials, but this time you're going to need 5 cut sapphire, 2 gold and 1 string. This is going to be increasing the overall damage to 15, and we're also going to get 4 rune slots. Once crafted, we're then going to go upgrade it to a rift version. So if you go to the legendary forge and have 3 rift crystals, we can increase the overall damage to 17 and also increase the durability. So once it does get rifted, it's going to turn legendary too, which is going to be pretty cool. Okay, we're now going to go upgrade the other parts of it. So we're now going to add some runes to it. So you go over to the rune forge and we're going to add another 4. Okay, we're going to add destructive free like before, so we can damage the crystals really quick. Damage free, this will also increase the damage of the weapon, so it's going to go 17 to 20. Rune free, we're going to add Stormbane free, does increase damage to storm wild enemies and foes summoned from the storm. And the final one, we're going to add durability, so we're just going to increase the durability of the weapon. So we got destruction free, damage free, stormbane free and durability free. Now we've got the crossbow, we now need to make some ammo for it. So if you go to the crafting bench, go all the way over to the last option, and the third one down you have arrows. To make arrows we're going to need wood and feathers. To get feathers, we just need to eliminate chickens, and it'll drop you 1 feather every time you eliminate one. So we're going to need quite a lot of them. And then we're going to need some wood, so just break a tree or a bush. Once you've got that, we can then create 8 arrows every time you use 1 feather and 1 piece of wood. There is a quicker way. If you kill the acolytes around the map, they're going to drop you 7 to 10 arrows every time you kill one. So the ones with the crossbow will drop the ammo obviously. And you can just keep farming them. So you can do it in the open or go to the dungeon and you can just farm them. You're going to need 200 to 300 arrows, but I'll take 500 just to be safe. Charms. To get maximum health to fight the Storm King, you're going to need the following charms. You got the epic health charm, the storm charm and the hearty totem. These can be a bit of a pain to get and they are quite long-winded to make. So to craft the health charm, the epic version, you need 3 wool thread, 5 cut amber, and 1 brute scale. Once you've got the ingredients, we can then make the health charm, and it's going to give you 4 hearts and 3 shield. The next one is storm charm. You're going to need 3 silk thread, 6 copper bar, 2 greater storm core, and finally 3 storm shell. So if you kill a storm crawler, that's the one with the one eye in the dungeon or the storm area, he will drop the greater storm core. In the same place, you're also going to find the storm roller. Once eliminated, they're going to drop the storm shell. Once you have all the ingredients, we can then create the storm charm. This will also give you 2 hearts and 2 shields, and it will also help reduce the damage taken from the storm energy attacks. The final charm, and the most important one, is the hearty totem. To craft it, you're going to need the following. You're going to need 5 copper bar, 3 wolf thread, 3 cursed bones, and 2 bear pelt. These are found by killing bears in the grasslands. The cursed bones are found at night time by killing the wolves. They're obviously the white ones or the luminous ones. You can also kill the ones in the caves too in the frostlands. Once you've got the ingredients, we can then make the hearty totem. This is going to give you 2 hearts and 2 shield. It also gives you 3 extra hearts once your health is at full, and it keeps regenerating once your health is at full. So once you have all these 3 charms, your health is going to look like this. You're going to have 16 hearts with 7 shield. So the last 3 hearts are going to be the ones that regenerate once you have your health up to full, which is pretty cool. NPC, probably the most important item you could have with you. So around the map, you're going to find these random NPCs. If you talk to them, you can then ask them to come explore with you. If you're already in your village, you can do exactly the same thing as a job. So once they are willing to come explore with you, they will then follow you around and they will attack things that you attack. If you give them weapons, they will be more powerful, or they can use their fists. So if you take this, you can give them anything from gift torch to swords, but no crossbow or guns. They don't like them. They're also going to be really good like decoys as well. So when you actually fight the big man, he's basically going to focus on the NPCs, and they're going to take the heat while you damage them from distance with your crossbow. It's a really good tactic. Once they do get eliminated, they will spawn back in, but in expert mode, they will not spawn back in. So if you want to do this solo, the NPC will help you out big time. So when you do go in, remember to give them an epic weapon and above, and they will be able to take out the enemies really quickly. If not, they're just going to punch them and slow them down. Eye of the Storm. If you don't know what it is a mystical orb of a condensed storm energy used to fuel the Tempest Gateway. You're going to need 10 of them to open the gateway that takes you to the Storm King. Once activated, it's going to stay open for 1 hour. To get the Eye of the Storms, you can get these by either killing Raven, and his chest will spawn and it will give you 3. This will reset every 24 hours after you eliminate him. Or you can get it by going through the dungeon by eliminating certain enemies, opening chests, and of course by killing the Thunderlord. The Thunderlord will drop you 1 or 2 once he's eliminated, and you can also get some from the chest that spawns after you eliminate him too. I suggest us farming the dungeon and trying to get as many as possible. Remember, you're going to need 10 for 1 visit. So before we go fight the Storm King, make sure you have 10 Eye of the Storms, at least 400 arrows. Try to carry some like tropical drinks and some fish. They give you quite a lot of hearts. And then you've got the sword, a few crossbows, and of course the charms. You're going to need them to survive. The Storm King. Before you can fight him, you actually have to unlock him, and that's by upgrading the Storm Chaser village all the way up to level 9. So he will appear on the map, but you won't be able to access the gate till Raven is defeated. Once you've defeated him, you can now access the gateway with the Eye of the Storm. So head over to the area with the Storm King logo. Once you've made your way over there, you're going to notice the big mountain with the purple thing out of it. That's where we have to go to. That's why we marked it earlier with this little logo. So there's a stairwell and it takes you all the way up there, and it's quite far away. So you're probably going to die if you don't have one of these storm charms. Once you're at the top, we now need to put the 10 Eye of the Storms in to activate the gateway. If you don't have them, you can't get in. It's pretty simple. Once activated, it's then going to be open for 1 whole hour. So if you do get defeated, you can come back and try to defeat him again in that hour time limit. He is countdown and live as well, which is pretty cool. When fighting the Storm King, there's going to be 4 main stages. I'm going to go through them as quick as I can and break them down and make it a lot easier for you. Okay, once you land, you're now going to have 3 waves of these crystals. You basically have to destroy them to stop the enemies appearing, and then the Storm King will appear. If you don't break the crystals manually, they're just going to keep spawning the little enemies. So it's probably quicker just breaking the crystals and then they won't spawn in. You can either use the sword or the crossbow, but try to reserve using your crossbows, and then while you're doing that, your NPC's going to be taking out the rest of these little bots. So don't worry about killing any of the bots till you've destroyed all the crystals, because they're just going to spawn in until the crystal gets broken. At the moment, this is really laggy, so I don't suggest standing still. If you can't hit them with your crossbow, just start hitting them with the sword. Remember, every time you eliminate one with the sword, you're going to get some heal from it, so you don't have to use your health. Remember, we also have 3 like overshield, so if you do lose 3 of the hearts, they're going to come back to you as long as you stay above a certain number. Once you kill the last set of bots on round 3, you're then going to have the Storm King spawn in. While we're spawning in, and if you don't have any ammo, you need to start picking up all the stuff off the floor, because it's going to be hard in a little bit. As soon as he starts hitting the floor with both hands, you're going to be shot up in the air, and it's going to break the surrounding area and make it smaller. Debris is then going to appear around you, so you need to be very careful of this. You need to destroy it as quickly as you can, because if you run into it, it's going to slow you down. He's also going to start doing a lot of attacks at you by throwing either boulders at you or charging up and beaming you. As soon as a weak point appears, stage 2 will start. So you now need to literally damage his chest. See the yellow bit on the front? You need to weaken it using the crossbow. As soon as he starts charging up and standing still, it's probably the best time to aim for it. As soon as you break part of it, he's now going to start the wave of enemies appear, and he's going to be basically summoning crystals. Once you break the crystals and eliminate all the enemies, a weak point will appear. soon as you get enough enemies eliminated, you're then going to get another weak point on the right arm. I suggest trying to get the odd shot in. He is going to eventually hit the ground and he's going to get stuck, and you can either use the sword or the crossbow from close range and you can break it. There's no point shooting random like crossbows at it because you're going to miss so many and it's just going to waste ammo, and it's also going to start like breaking your crossbow. Once he gets back on his feet, he's then going to spawn in another wave of enemies. We need to break the crystals and eliminate all the enemies, and we will finally be able to get the last weak point. Okay, if you get knocked off the side, don't worry. You're just basically going to lose 2 hearts and basically spawn back in. But as long as you're in the air, you're going to lose more health. So if you have the fly mode on, it's best just to use it quickly and then drop to the floor and you won't lose much health. We need to eliminate all these guys before we start like aiming for his left arm, because they're going to be a pain. Try to break the crystal as well because it will speed it up. As soon as it breaks, you can now go for one of his horns on his head. So he's going to be really dazed, so he's going to give you the opportunity to break it, and he's going to fall down. You can use a sword or you can use the pickaxe. You just need to destroy it really quickly. He is now going to summon random rocks and is going to rain down on you. Just try to avoid them. If you stay still, you're more likely not get hit. By running around pointlessly, you're probably going to get hit. Stage 3, we're basically going to repeat what we did in the last stage, but this time it's going to be the other horn. So we're going to get 3 weak points again. We need to break the crystals and then the weak point will appear, and then we just have to repeat this. As soon as all the enemies have been eliminated, he's then going to try to charge for you, and he's just going to punch the ground again. Once you've weakened him, he's then going to summon some more waves of bots. So just like before, we need to break all the crystals and then eliminate the bots. Once you eliminate all the enemies, his weak point on his chest is then gonna appear. Once you broke that weak point, you're then going to have another wave of enemies and crystals. Repeat the first stage and basically break all the crystals again. The last crystal will then appear on his right hand side, and we need to wait till he hits the floor before we attack it. It is in a bit of an awkward area. As soon as you've broken it, you're then going to get another horn available. We now need to take it out. He's going to be dazed and he's going to fall over again. Once you break it, you now need to damage him as much as you can. The ring is going to get a lot smaller. This is the final stage. Once the ring goes a lot smaller, he's then going to spawn in a lot of enemies. We need to take out all the enemies as quickly as possible. As soon as you've broken all the crystals and eliminated all the enemies, all you got to do is damage him till he's dead. If you don't take out the enemies and you just aim at him, you're going to probably die from like damage from all the enemies. Because where the ring is a lot smaller, you're more likely going to get a lot more storm damage. Once the Storm King hits the ground, he's going to get stuck. We now need to charge him and do as much damage as we can. He hasn't got any weak points, so the best thing to do is basically jump and hit him with the sword. Like I said before, we need to take out all the enemies. Because my NPC died, it's going to take him longer to spawn back in. So you just have to survive. We're probably going to take a lot of damage as well because we're lagging and we're missing a lot of shots. Okay, once you eliminate him, try to avoid any of the rocks coming down because it can kill you and you won't get the reward. Now we have eliminated the Storm King, a chest will appear and you will get your rewards. You're going to get a cool new weapon. So you're guaranteed a mythic weapon. There are two types, so you can get either the sword or the pickaxe. It is random. You could do this again and get exactly the same weapon. Okay, cool. We got the sword. So you got a mythic sword And you also got a shattered fragment and a few other bits and bobs. The thunderclap blade. Okay, once you equip it, we're going to see what it does. A mighty mythical sword formed from the fragments of the Storm King's horn. Hold attacks to charge and release attacks of devastating storm energy. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so it's like a bolt of energy. Okay, do bear in mind though, this sword does break, so once it runs out of energy, it will disappear forever. If you do go back, by the way, you're now going to have a clear sky. Just like the dungeons before, the area is going to be completely clear. You can come back here in 1 hour's time, so you're not going to be able to fight the Storm King for an hour at least. If you need any more help, just leave a comment. Till next time, peace.